Hello Year 3, it's Miss McGuinness. Today I'm going to read another book above pay grade with you, and it's going to be on Fantastic Mr. Fox. So it's about chapter 2, and this chapter is all about the main character himself, Fantastic Mr. Fox. So I'm going to read it for you. I want you to look over the Vipers questions and have a think, and after I've read you the story, we'll look over the answers together. Don't forget, you can pause the video clip whenever you want to if you need some thinking time. Okay, so chapter number 2 is all about Mr. Fox and his family. On a hill above the valley there was a wood. In the wood there was a huge tree. Under the tree there was a hole. In the hole lived Mr. Fox and Mrs. Fox and their 4 small foxes. Every evening, as soon as it got dark, Mr. Fox would say to Mrs. Fox, "Well, my darling, what shall it be this time? A plump chicken from Boggis? A duck or a goose from Bunce? Or a nice turkey from Bean?" And when Mrs. Fox had told him what she wanted, Mr. Fox would creep down into the valley in the darkness of the night and help himself. Oh, I bet the farmers are not happy about that. Let's see what happens. Boggis and Bunce and Bean knew very well what was going on, and it made them wild with rage. They were not men who liked to give anything away. Less still did they like anything to be stolen from them. So every night each of them would take his shotgun and hide in a dark place somewhere on his own farm, hoping to catch the robber. But Mr. Fox was too clever for them. He always approached a farm with the wind blowing in his face, and this meant that if any man were lurking in the shadows ahead, the wind would carry the smell of that man to Mr. Fox's nose from far away. Thus, if Mr. Boggis was hiding behind his chicken house number 1, Mr. Fox would smell him out from 50 yards off and quickly change direction, heading for chicken house number 2 at the other end of the farm. "Down and blast that lousy beast," cried Boggis. "I'd like to rip his guts out," said Bunce. "He must be killed," cried Bean. "But how?" said Boggis. "How on earth can we catch the blighter?" Bean picked his nose delicately, and with a long finger, "I have a plan," he said. "You haven't had a decent plan yet," said Bunce. "Shut up and listen," said Bean. "Tomorrow night we'll all hide just outside the hole where the fox lives. We will wait there until he comes out. Then bang, bang, bang." "Very clever," said Bunce. "But first we shall have to find the hole." "My dear Bunce, I've already found it," said the crafty Bean. "It's up in the wood on the hill. It's under a huge tree." Okay, so the next chapter is called The Shooting. So that gives you an idea about what's about to happen. Let's look over the Vipers questions and see if we can find our answers. These are the answers to the Vipers questions for chapter 2 of Fantastic Mr. Fox. So the first question was a vocabulary question, and it was, what phrase shows that Mr. Fox loves his wife? So remember, with a vocabulary question you need to find the word in the reading that tells you what phrase shows you that Mr. Fox loves his wife. So if you need to, you can go back and look on the video clip and pause it. Let's have a look at my answer. My answer is, well, my darling. Okay, so that's the phrase, well, my darling, that shows that Mr. Fox loves his wife. Question 2 was an explain question. And it was, do you think it's right for Mr. Fox to steal? Explain your answer fully. Now you may have different answers for this question, so I'll show you mine and we'll discuss what your answer may look like. So my answer says, it is wrong to steal something that belongs to another person because it is their property. You could write an answer explaining why some animals need to steal or forage for food in order to stay alive and to feed their young, and that could be an explanation as to why they may steal food. The next question was a retrieval question, and the question was, how did Mr. Fox always avoid getting caught? So you need to go to the text and have a look for the sneaky way he avoided being caught. My answer says, it's quite a long one, Mr. Fox avoided getting caught by approaching the farm with the wind in his face so he could smell the farmers hiding. So that was directly from the text that we read. It's a very sneaky way that Mr. Fox has discovered for smelling the farmers before they smell him. So those are the answers to the Vipers questions. Have a look and see if they match yours. Some of you may have some alternative answers, and that's fine as long as you explain your answers. And I will see you soon for chapter 3 of Fantastic Mr. Fox. Bye.